This is the Consumer Snapshot for October 2013, and this month we'll take a look at 3 areas. Sentiment, with an updated look at consumer confidence. In strategy, we'll see how the government shutdown may affect consumer spending headed into the all-important holiday season. And then finally, we'll lighten up the mood a bit with a look at Halloween spending plans and where celebrants are finding their costume creativity. First up is a look at consumer confidence, and it should come as no surprise to anyone that the government shutdown took its toll on sentiment this month. Just 28% of consumers are confident or very confident in chances for a strong economy, down 24% from last month's 37.4%. The past 13 months have certainly been full of up-down movement of consumer sentiment, but all of that looks relatively stable compared to this month's drop, which could prove to be quite dangerous as we head into the holiday season. Now, this is obviously a disappointing start for Q4 2013. October's figure represents the lowest reading since December 2011, when consumers were still reeling from that year's debt ceiling crisis, and spending levels led to a lackluster holiday season. And our next debt ceiling crisis is looming, so consumer sentiment could definitely get worse headed into November, stirring up recession-era spending habits among holiday shoppers this year. So let's take a look at how the shutdown may affect consumer spending overall. In October, 1 out of 3 Americans asserted that the government shutdown was likely or very likely to impact their spending. Among key generations, Boomers and Gen Xers were the most likely to say their spending would be affected. Now, why is this so important? If you recall from our September snapshot, Boomers and Gen Xers are the biggest spenders when it comes to holiday shopping. Last year, their spending plans represented 2/3 of total spending for the holiday season. So deeper spending cutbacks among these two generations would likely make a more detrimental impact for the holiday season compared to the slightly less affected silent or millennial groups. The good news this month, though, is that consumers seem to be taking a wait-and-see approach to spending and the government shutdown. Their frustrations with the government don't appear to be affecting spending mindsets yet. As you can see, our indicators for practicality in blue and focus on needs over wants, that kind of purple color, this month are still trending just under October 2012's readings. However, prolonged government chaos may lead to a shutdown of consumer spending as we head into November. And while that's certainly a topic we'll keep close attention on in the coming weeks, let's lighten up the mood a bit with a look at the holiday just on the horizon. That's Halloween. This year, Halloween celebrants plan to spend about $75 on the holiday, down slightly from last year's nearly $80 figure. Perhaps plans to celebrate last year reached a fever pitch as consumers looked to escape some of the presidential election madness last year. Or perhaps there's only so much one can spend on Halloween, and $75 to $80 is that limit for costumes, candy, and decor just before the winter holiday season. Either way, while we'd always like to see an increase in spend, $75 for Halloween is still a solid figure. Now, besides the candy, the other major area of Halloween spending is, of course, costumes. This year, witches, princesses, and pumpkins are among the top costumes for adults, children, and pets. Now, where do celebrants head for their costume inspiration? As you can see, online searches, costume shops, and friends and family are consumers' top sources for inspiration. And 1 out of 10 will look to Pinterest, which is the only inspiration source growing year over year. Now let's take a look at who's most likely to win Best Costume. With the majority of Gen X and Millennial Halloween celebrants planning to dress in costume, you'll be sure to see some imaginative choices among this crowd. These two generations are also much more likely to seek a wider variety of sources for costume inspiration. As you can see, while online searching and retail stores still dominate with these groups, millennials also rely heavily on their peers, Facebook, pop culture, and Pinterest. That's all for this month. You can also keep tabs on our latest discoveries by heading over to prosperdiscovery.com. Thanks for watching.